Welcome to Bariatrics and Tips. I am Michelle Geeson, your hostess with the mostest. Welcome to our Sunday Facebook Live recipe demonstration. Today I've got a really good treat for you. I have egg roll in a bowl, which is one of my favorite comfort foods. I've been making it for years upon years, and I started thinking to myself, you need to show something else to go with it. And so I've got a bonus recipe for you today. I am gonna show you air fried crab rangoon. And we are gonna do that right now. So Maya, why don't you come on over to this side? I am gonna get the refrigerated ingredients out. There we go. When you're dealing, well, I probably should back up a little bit. I want to welcome you if you're new to this format. I'm just so excited that we have such a huge format to show you today and such a delightful menu. I was getting a little ahead of myself. So whether you are on your own wellness journey or you are a bariatric patient or maybe you're even trying to combat diabetes, whatever the reason, you're in the right place because there's never a bad time to want to eat healthy, okay? So we are gonna jump right in. We are gonna go to our air fried crab rangoon. And what we're gonna do today is while these are in the air fryer, we're gonna hop on over to the stove and we're gonna kind of toggle. That way we maximize our time together, okay? So the first thing that we wanna do, the crab rangoon are super duper easy. And I'm actually using my homemade cream cheese recipe in this. My homemade cream cheese is based, cottage cheese based, and so it's got a lot higher protein. If you don't have homemade cream cheese, you obviously can opt for the regular store-bought or store-bought light, whatever you choose. Just note that the nutrition content I give you on my recipe card this afternoon on our Facebook page will be a little bit different, okay? And again, if you have any questions about any of the products, gadgets, or just questions about the recipe in general, let me know on this Facebook Live recipe demonstration because my camera person, Maya, my daughter, will let me know, or pose those questions on our Bariatrics and Tips Facebook page, okay? Come on over, Maya. Let's start with air fried crab rangoon. There's a lot to show, and so Maya, there are times where I'm gonna have you focus on the food and then I'm gonna have you focus on me, okay? So why don't you come over here and focus on the food. I want this bowl to be the center of your universe, okay? Thank you so much. All right, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add 6 ounces of crab meat. And this is what I got for you. It's just store-bought canned crab meat. If you wanted to use imitation, you certainly could. I think this can was about $3 and it was really the same, just about the same price as buying imitation. So I figured I'd throw caution to the wind and go for the good stuff. We want 4 ounces of cream cheese. This is already pre-measured. This is my homemade cream cheese, in case you were curious. Look at how, well, I was gonna show you how thick it was, but it wasn't really secure in the bowl to begin with. But I mean, for all intended purposes, look how thick this cream cheese is. It's pretty intense. So that is 4 ounces of cream cheese. If you're using store-bought cream cheese, make sure that it's room temperature, okay? We want a green onion finely diced, and so I have this finely diced, and what I used a kitchen shears for this, just like a scissors, and I made it really fine. So we're gonna throw that on in there, get every last bit in. I love my green onions. Green onions are my favorite. All right, then we're gonna do a teaspoon of soy sauce and a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire, and that's what's in this little bowl right here. So I'm just gonna dump that in. All right, and then you wanna use, I found actually that just a regular kitchen fork works best, and you just wanna get everything mixed up nice and good. It's gonna make a lot. Now, I experimented this week. Originally, I wanted to add a tablespoon of the concoction to the wonton wrapper, but I found it was a little too much. So we're gonna go down to a half of a tablespoon. So here we go, we've got our concoction. And now we are going to get ready to put them out. Now this makes at least a dozen. I'm not gonna make a dozen for us. I'm only gonna make a few. Maya, and I know you're looking at the bowl, but this time I want you to focus on these wonton wrappers that I'm gonna lay out. And I'm just gonna put 6 out. Again, I'm only putting 6 out because of time and space here, okay? I could probably just do 4, but I said 6, so I shall do 6. All right, so we wanna take a half of a tablespoon, and we wanna put a half a tablespoon of mixture onto each wonton wrapper. Now, if you're not familiar with the wonton wrappers, here they are. Maya, get a good shot of that. These are the wonton wrappers, and you can get them at your grocery store. That is what I got. Okay, Maya, now back to the wonton wrappers. A half a tablespoon of each of the concoction on each. Okay, I'm using my fingers, you guys. It had to be done. And you might want to come over here and come next to me so you can see everything over here, because now we're getting a little far away from you. Guys, is Maya doing a good job being the camera person? I think she is. All right, so now what you want to do is you need to seal these bad boys up. And so lots of recipes either say that you can opt for egg wash or olive oil. I just like to use water. I find that if I use the egg wash, the edges are more likely to burn. And so, I don't know, you could use whatever you want. My recipe calls for water. And you wanna fold these into a triangle, and you really wanna squeeze the air out of there, because if you have air in there, it will eventually explode the crab rangoon. Okay, so I'm just wetting my fingers down with the water that I had in the little bowl. I'm getting the air out of there, and if you have some of the stuff come out, then so be it. Weirder things have happened. All right, moistening the edges. And if you don't have an air fryer, you can always bake these. That is no problem. I actually regular fried them because I wanted to see the difference between frying them and air frying them. And really the only difference I saw was that with regular frying with oil, you got a more consistent golden color, because it was, it's a little bit more consistently fried than the air fryer. But that's really the only difference I saw. All right, so okay, we gotta burn rubber here. All right, I'm almost done. I got 2 more left. I'm trying to squeeze the air out as best I can. And now 1 more. And then what you want to do, I like to make it look pretty. I'm all about pretty food and curb appeal. So I like to take the back of my fork. Now come over here, Maya. And I like to make imprints in each crab rangoon. Kind of like how you would use a pot, how you would do it for a pie, pot sticker, ravioli. It's very much the same. Plus it helps make it look pretty, and it helps pinch everything tight. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I just have a couple more to go. Maya, if there's any questions, please let me know. If anyone has any questions, please let us know. And there we go. Now, there's one thing I like to do before I get everything ready, and that is I wanna make sure that these are sprayed with either some cooking spray, come over here, or some olive oil. And so I like to spray my pan. This is olive oil that I'm misting, and I like to smear it all around, and then I'm gonna put my crab rangoons on it so they don't stick. This is just best practice stuff, you guys. There's no right or wrong way. It's whatever works. And then I like to go in and spray a little bit more. So hopefully, I'm pretty liberal when it comes to olive oil. Olive oil is extremely nutritious and very good for you. So I'm very, pro olive oil. So now I'm going to put them on my air fryer tray. And hold on. Good job with the camera. Kim, if baking them, what temp and time? Good question, Kim. 350. Don't make it any more because I tried it on 400 and it burns them and it just looks horrible. They taste good, but they don't look good. So hopefully that answers your question, Kim. Veronica, what is the olive oil sprayer? This is just a Pampered Chef gadget that I have. You can, actually, I don't think this is a Pampered Chef gadget. I think I ordered this one from Amazon. You can just type in oil sprayer on Amazon and you'll find one. This was under 10 bucks and it's awesome, and you can put your own olive oil in it. All right, so thank you. Both great questions. Here we go. So now I'm going to put these on my air fryer tray. Everybody's air fryer is a little bit different, and I've been experimenting with mine. Mine is relatively new. I just got a new one, and that is a Pampered Chef air fryer, and I love it so much. I think there's still a lot that I don't know about it, so hopefully I'm not going to be embarrassed when I take these out of the oven for you. All right, so in we go to the air fryer. They need to go in. For 7 minutes. Oh, custom. 7 minutes at 350. And then when it gets down to 3 minutes, we're going to open this and we're going to flip them, okay? So let's get that running. And now we're going to go, Maya, if you can come over to the stove with me. I'm rinsing my hands up real quick. We are going to start off with, you can look over here first. We're going to start off with my cauliflower fried rice, okay? Super easy. I'm not going to go into real depth about it. You will have the repost on our Facebook page today. But I've already got it started, so take a look. So this is my cauliflower rice. All I did was take a teaspoon of Asian seasoning. I've got a Pampered Chef Asian seasoning that I use. And then you can also use Chinese 5 spice, whatever you want to use as your Asian seasoning, you can do that. So I already had that, and I had it kind of stir-fried with a little splash of sesame oil, because sesame oil gives you a really great flavor, especially when you're making Asian inspired recipes. So we've got this going. I just want to get the heat up there. And then all we're going to do, and this is going to be very similar to what we do for the egg roll in a bowl, we want to create a little well in the middle of everything. See how I'm like hollowing out the middle? And this is how you would do it too if you had actual rice that you were trying to make fried rice. You're going to take a beaten egg, and we are actually going to put it in the center, and we're essentially going to scramble it and mix it while we are moving along. So I just like to create a really nice well there. All right, so now I've got one beaten egg that I'm going to use, and I'm going to pour it in the center. Awesome, it's looking good. And then I can hear it starting to go to town. And once I see that egg starting to cook, I want to start scrambling it. We're doing good with the air fryer. We've got about 2 more minutes before we're going to go over there, and I'm going to show you how to change those over. So Maya, you stay focused on this, and then let me grab a utensil to get us ready for the air fryer. I can see that the egg is starting to cook. And you'll want to salt and pepper this to your liking as well. Can you see how it's starting to scramble? Oh, and it's coming out the edge. It's coming out right over here too. So I'm going to start incorporating that, and I'm going to start you really want it to incorporate to the whole mixture. Oh, it's looking so good. 1 more minute. That's the air fryer telling me that I think it's reached its optimum temperature of 350 degrees. All right, so see, look at that fried rice here. That is, and I'm using cast iron for both of these. I love my cast iron so much. Obviously, use what works for you. Cast iron is a super treat. All right. So there is our fried rice. So I'm gonna keep that on warm heat until we're ready for it. And here we go. I just don't want, like, if you keep this moving, you're gonna have scrambled eggs, and I don't want scrambled eggs. I want the eggs to be super finely scrambled and really incorporated into the cauliflower rice. Hi Peg, thanks for joining. All right, let's go over to the air fryer, Miss Maya. You can kind of see, before I take them out, you can kind of see that they're puffing up nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And it's gonna beep at me for a second because it's like, you stopped me, why did you do that? And I'm just gonna give them a quick flip. And then I'm gonna let them go for the rest of the time. You can see that the edges are starting to get a little crispy. Okay, so they are all flipped. Back in you go, and we are gonna go back to the stove. And now I'm gonna show you the egg roll in a bowl. This is, again, one of my favorite recipes. I discovered long ago that I love egg rolls and I love Chinese food, and after weight loss surgery, nothing tasted the same. And I found that every time we ordered Chinese food, because my son and my husband loved it, that I was wasting a lot of food. I would love to eat the inside of the egg roll, but I always left the fried shell because, well, you know what happens when a gastric bypass patient eats all that fried stuff. It was me and dumping syndrome, and it was not pretty. So that's when I discovered my egg roll in a bowl. So you can use lean ground beef, you can use pork if you want, you can use ground turkey, you can use ground chicken. I have used ground chicken, and I've already started it because this was the part that was gonna take the longest. So here's my ground chicken. Maya, take a look. This is a ½ pound of ground chicken. So this is just half of a package. And the reason I only used half of a package is because today it's just me eating this. This is gonna be my lunch and probably lunch for tomorrow as well. So Maya, you keep on there because now I'm gonna turn the oven on. So a pound of, or a ½ pound of your meat of choice. This is ground chicken. I browned it, and if you have a type of meat that requires you to drain the fat, please definitely do that, okay? So you're gonna brown your meat, and then you are going to add a sweet onion that's diced and 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, okay? So I've got that right here. There's my garlic and my onions. In you go, all right? So now we want to make sure that that cooks and is all incorporated. And we're gonna get that nice and warmed to where we can start smelling the garlic. When you can smell the garlic toasting and getting nice and brown, then you know it's all good. All right. I think that might be, Maya, you stay on this. Let me check crab rangoon city. All right, Maya, why don't you come over here real quick and let's take a look at our crab rangoons. Look at that. All right, let me get a plate to put them on. All right. The egg roll in a bowl is still heating up. I can hear it, but take a look at these. Look at how nice those look, don't they? Yum is right, Melissa. I like the way, here, Maya. All right, hotter than the bowels of hell, you guys, but absolutely delicious. And they taste really good. and it's homemade cream cheese. So I'm pretty stoked, okay? All right, let's switch back our gears back to our egg roll in a bowl. All right, you can hear the oven or the stove heating up. Whoops. All right, really get in here, Miss Maya. The whole thing. There we go. All right, so we've got our onion and our garlic, and the key is to have this cooked until the onions become translucent. And that could just be just maybe another couple moments or so. Thanks, Kim. Everything is really coming together. It's nice when you can make a really good Asian recipe and not have to worry about how it's going to affect you physically or feeling guilty because you even ate it at all. And that's what I like to do. I really like to focus on flavor, and I like to find workarounds to the things that we loved when we didn't have to worry about bariatric surgery. I love to find flavor in everything that I do. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna layer these flavors, and we are gonna add our sesame oil. It's 2 teaspoons of sesame oil and a tablespoon of rice vinegar. And I have that right here. You can kind of see which is which in that concoction. So let's pour that all in. Okay, we just wanna stir it until it's combined. And again, you don't have to worry about writing anything down, you guys, because you're gonna have this recipe at 3 o'clock. Okay, once that's all incorporated, and the way that I know it's all incorporated is that sizzling will start to subside a little bit. And then we're gonna add our ginger, soy sauce, and hoisin. So that's a teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce, and a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. That is really building on our flavors here. So I've got that all mixed together. There's 3 ingredients. Those 3 ingredients are in this bowl. So let's get that on in there. And once again, the sizzling continues. That's what we want, my friends. That is what we want. Check out how good that looks so far. You could even make these, like if you have leftovers for the next day, you could have lettuce wraps with this concoction, like a PF Chang's type lettuce wrap. That would be delightful. All right, and now once all this is incorporated, we want to get to the guts of everything. We're gonna put a 1/2 bag of coleslaw, a full package of bean sprouts, and 2 stalks of celery. You can either dice them or you can cut them on the slant. I love cutting them slanted because they look fancy. So here's our coleslaw. Here's our celery. Look how I've got it slanted. I love celery, and it adds such a nice, pretty green color. And now our bean sprouts. Looking good. And you can see this makes a lot. You could bring the bean sprouts down to a 1/2 of a bag if you wanted. I love bean sprouts, so I always opt for the full bag. And if you wanted, you could probably put in the full pound of ground meat, but I actually add salad shrimp to this, and that is our next ingredient that I'm gonna put in as soon as I get this pretty well combined. So far, so good, you guys. It's looking delish. All right, here's my salad shrimp. These things are gonna shrink up pretty nice. But you know, if you think about what's in an egg roll, I always see little pieces of shrimp in there, so I like to put that in there for myself as well. And again, the beauty of this recipe is that you get to do it however you want. And that is what I love the most. And then as soon as this gets cooked a little bit more and incorporated, we are gonna use another beaten egg in order to make it seem a little bit more lovely. All right, look at how nice the cabbage and the bean sprouts are kind of wilting and getting soft, and that's how you know you're hopefully cooking the water out of it and getting all that taken care of. So the volume itself is looking a little bit less. And you can kind of see these shrimpies are getting shrimpier. Yep, shrimpy shrimp as opposed to jumbo shrimpy shrimp. All right, look at how nice that's looking. And then the last thing that we're gonna do, I wanna make sure everything is super incorporated. I think if you're someone like Veronica, whose family loves to cook what she cooks, I would probably use the whole pound of ground chicken, Veronica. Just a thought. But again, I only make this for me, and I like to cook small because I would rather run out than run the risk of wasting. I just absolutely hate to waste. Hey Sharon, thanks for watching. Good to see you. Sharon's one of my work buddies. All right. Okay, so now let's go and we'll make a well in the center, just like we did. Pan in on that, Maya, will you? Come a little closer. And now we're gonna put that last beaten egg. And in you go. All right, and I like to start stirring it so it scrambles, and then I'm gonna incorporate it into the entire mixture. And my circles are gonna get bigger until it's all in there. I don't want like chunky scrambled eggs in my egg roll bowl. I want little tiny, and I'll tell you, my arm is getting one heck of a workout. This is the biggest workout my arm's had all week. This looks so good, you guys. I can't wait to eat it. And I can't wait to eat it for lunch and dinner and lunch and dinner, because this is definitely a large amount. But really, when you look at it, doesn't it look like something that you would take out of an egg roll? At least it does in my book. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Now, I do respect the fact that with Asian cuisine, typically these Chinese delicacies, these meals that we love. Peg says, good job, Maya. Maya, do you know who Peg, do you recognize Peg? Mrs. Pacini from Zinzer, or not Zinzer, from Kennewick Hills, the food service. All right, she remembers you, Peg, she remembers you. But at any rate, I do recognize the fact that you might want something served crunchy, and so I've got something to show you as well, notwithstanding the crab Rangoon, which are probably losing their crunch as we speak, because you gotta kind of eat them as soon as they come out of the air fryer. But okay, so there, that looks pretty well established. Let's go ahead and get this put in a plate. So first thing I want to do, come over here, Maya, I am going to serve up my fried rice, because I would like to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I want the whole thing to be seen. And so, come up here. So I literally just took the bowl out, and the dog is here now because he hears these sounds. He honestly could hear the Ziploc bag from the cheese undone, and he came into the kitchen. The dog knows his sounds. Okay, come on over here, Maya. What is he eating off the floor? Did I spill something? What did I spill? Oh, some of the egg roll in a bowl. All right, here's my fried rice. I'm gonna serve it on the side because I want you to be able to see everything. Look how nice that fried rice came out. Pure veggie, pure protein. I'm gonna take it all right? And now I'm gonna plate up my egg roll in a bowl. My gosh, you guys, it looks so good. And there's probably a very good likelihood that I'm not gonna be able to eat all of this. I do want to take some green onions and put it on top. Then I want to come on over here and grab myself a crab Rangoon or two. All right. And maybe a little bit more green onion for show and tell. And then if you want something crunchy, these Chinese noodles are the bomb. You don't need a lot of them. I'm much better with the crunchy stuff. They're just really big chow mein noodles, so to speak. We call them crunchies in our house. And sometimes just a few is all it takes. Let's see Lego. Lego wants one too. Can you sit? Get down. Very good boy. Lego loves his Asian food as well. All right, so let's get ready to rumble. All right, you guys, I got my fried rice. I got my egg roll in a bowl. I'm probably gonna burn my mouth. I'm in heaven. And I typically don't eat until this show. So guess what I'm gonna be doing when we are done. But I've got my crab Rangoon, I've got my, which are pretty crunchy, and the filling inside, they're delightful. And this is just such a great meal. I don't feel deprived at all. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on the restaurant version of this dish. I think it's absolutely delightful. It's got beautiful color. It's got really good texture. So it's really gonna tantalize your taste buds. And that's what we're trying to do with bariatric surgery. You shouldn't have to wander the face of this earth wondering whether you should have this or that, wondering if people should be asking you, well, can you have this or can you have that? The truth is, if it's made right, you can have whatever you want. And if you're using the proper judgment, you're gonna be unstoppable as someone who is successful with bariatric surgery or their wellness journey, and you're gonna be eating really well with meals like this, okay? So I wanted to thank you so much for being here with me today. Next week, we are gonna do everything about Jell-O. I've got some really great new recipes and some tried but true recipes that infuse protein with our Jell-O so that you can have a fun, delicious, and refreshing dessert, okay? Please remember that Bariatrics and Tips is on all social media. So Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok, you're gonna start seeing, if you haven't already, a lot more video shorts. And I'm trying to post something every day, whether it's just a little snippet about cream cheese or maybe even the crab rangoons coming up. Don't forget to not just like the post that I put on TikTok, but please follow me as well. The same goes true with my YouTube channel. You can find me, Bariatrics and Tips. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Maya for filming this. Thank you to all of you for spending part of your Sunday with me. And I hope you have a great beginning of your week, okay? See you later, bye.